spring and summer. You're done with winter. We're ready for the Reds. Please give a very warm welcome, Muncie, Indiana, and our listening area, all you Reds fans. He'll bring on all the stars here on the trip. Jeff Piccaro right here, everybody.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everybody. We're so happy to be here in Muncie, Indiana. As you know, I just got back from Arizona. It's fantastic out there. Going out there for spring training, and seriously, it is beautiful out there. When I left, it was 72 degrees, so a big difference here. Obviously, as you guys know, we have 4 legs of the Caravan. We cover 5 states, about 4,000 miles, and we love coming here to Muncie. This is my first time on this leg of the Caravan, and we've got some really special people here for you. It's all made possible by Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. We've got a couple of girls from the Tourism Network here back in the back. So if any of you want to come to Cincinnati in places to stay, packages, things like that, they can take care of that. We also have some of the girls from the ticketing office if you're interested in that as well. All right, let's get to the guys that are here. And let's just start at the top. In its 11th season in the organization and his 4th season as the Director of Player Development, please welcome Jeff Guapi. Next off is a guy who now fills out his uniform quite nicely. You might remember this guy from years ago. He pitched for the Reds from 1984 to 1994. And back on September 16th of 1988, he beat the Dodgers 1-0. It was a rain-soaked, rain-delayed game. And Tom Browning went out and threw a perfect game. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Perfect, Tom Browning. Next youngster is a 23-year-old infielder. He is the 6th best prospect in the Reds organization. Last year at High A and Double A, he hit .278 with 10 homers and 53 RBI and 9 stolen bases. Please welcome Alex Blandino. Yes, girls, he is single. Next up, 25-year-old right-handed pitcher, one of the 9 rookie pitchers the Reds started in 110 games, a modern-day record for the Reds a year ago. Please welcome Kivas Sampson. And when the manager, Brian Price, has a hole to fill somewhere in his roster, he doesn't have to go far, because last season, this guy started games at first base. No, not you, Mr. Red. Second base, shortstop, third base, and left field. Please welcome infielder, outfielder, Ivan De Jesus Jr. And finally, the guy that pulls all the strings in his 3rd year as the manager of the Reds, your manager, Mr. Brian Price. And now, Steve, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to do a little question and answer. So Absolutely. If you guys out here, anybody has a question, just raise your hand. Steve will come to you and fire away.
Go over to this young lady right here. Stand up so they can see who's talking to them. Who's your question for, and what's your name first?
My name's Becky Adams, and it's for Brian, the Price manager. The Reds had some issues with Brandon Phillips. And I'm wondering at this point in time, how do you see his role on the team? Whether you see him as a starter, sort of working with the young players, platooning him, or how do you see him right now?
Yeah, you know, a great question. I think most people are probably aware that we made an attempt to trade Brandon this winter. We had to make some really tough choices to trade Chapman and Todd Frazier, our 2 all-star players, just to get some salary relief. And I think with the way that we look at Brandon is he's got 2 years left on his contract. He makes a lot of money, and you know we want to be competitive, but it's probably a couple of years before we can compete for a championship, and by that time his contract will be up. So we approached him as with the idea of maybe going to a team that has a better chance of winning a World Series over the course of the next year or two. And he has no trade rights, so he declined to accept a potential trade to the Washington Nationals. If we have him, he'll be playing. You know, Brandon's been a great player for us, Gold Glover, All-Star, a fixture on the Reds since he came over in 2006. So it's not like I want to give his job away. He's done nothing to lose his position. We did trade for a kid we really like, Jose Peraza, that we got from the Dodgers. However, if Brandon's with us, and it looks like he will be, he's going to play. He's not going to be a platoon player. He'll get an occasional day off as he did last year, but he'll be playing.
All right, hold on to that mic. The next question's for you too, Mr. Manager. This is 102.9 FM, 1340 AM at WXFN.com. The Reds Winter Caravan at Stoops Buick-GMC. Go ahead.
Mr. Price, with Johnny Cueto being gone, who do you expect to win the opening start to pitch?
Yeah, opening day, that's a great question, actually, because obviously if Homer Bailey was ready, and he won't be probably until the end of April or early May, Homer would be the opening day starter. We made an effort to re-sign Bronson Arroyo, and the Washington Nationals were able to provide him with a little bit more substantial contract, and he took that. So right now it comes down to probably DeSclafani or Iglesias. And we're looking at, as you know, a very young group of starting pitchers and probably a very young bullpen as well. And so kind of on that theme that we had last year is a very strong, young, youthful feel to our pitching staff. So I imagine probably be one of those two at this point in time.
This Reds fan in the back row wanted me to ask the question for him. He's asking it of all you people that have played. When did you start? What, you know, how old were you? How young were you when you started playing baseball?
Well, I'm a little bit older than these guys, but I started when I was 8 years old. There was no T-ball back then. It was just Little League. I was a bat boy for my brother's team as a 7-year-old, and then the next year was able to be his teammate. So I started at 8.
Yeah, I probably finished more importantly than when I started, so I'll just skip Brian.
You know, I started at the age of 10 on a dare, and played till I was about 27, and then was smart enough to know that coaching was probably a better career choice than playing.
Well, I started since I was 3 years old. I grew up in a baseball field, my dad played for a long time in the big league, so I follow his steps. So since then, until God say it's done, I'm gonna still playing.
I started playing probably around 4, T-ball, and then I played a couple sports, soccer and basketball, football. I decided to play baseball in high school exclusively, but yeah, I think if you're a young kid, just play as many sports as you can at a young age.
I'd say I started about 4 years old. My mom and dad played, so I grew up around the baseball, kind of like DeJesus here. Played football and basketball growing up until my junior year of high school. So, yeah.
I was a football player.
He's a football player. I was wondering, Jeff, what your story was.
That's what they all say.
Next question, actually the last one's going to be behind you guys back here in the VIP line. Joe Schmaltz, big fan. Who's your question?
Oh, Mr. Price, I would like to know what you're thinking about third base and also left field for this year.
Yeah, you know what? Third base, I think, is going to be Eugenio Suarez. I think he'll just transition over. We should have Zach Cozart back as the everyday shortstop. He's a tremendous defender, as we all know. That moves Suarez over to third base, which is probably a position he would transition to at some point in time in his career anyway. We think it's a good fit. We think he's capable of learning the position quickly. He's played it a bit at the big league level, not a lot, but he'll get a crash course in spring training. And left field, unless something changes, it will probably be a platoon. And we've acquired some young players in recent trades. Certainly we had Duvall last year came over. A kid, Scott Schebler, we got with the Dodgers in the Dodger trade. Yorman Rodriguez, who's one of our better young prospects, but he's out of options, so if he doesn't make the team, we risk losing him. But if he has a good spring training, there's a good shot that he could get some playing time as well.
All right, awesome start, guys. We're going to get you situated for the autograph part here of our event. You're listening live to the Reds Winter Caravan from Stoops Buick-GMC on the home of the Reds, 102.9 FM, 1340 AM, and WXFN.com.
Hi, this is Pete Dahl with Sheriff Goslin Roofing Company. 2016 is here, and so is another cold Indiana winter. Winter baseball is now.
Folks, those of you with an A letter designation, if you have an A letter designation, please make your way up the stairs here, and you'll be directed to those chairs in the back of the room. Again, Marco's Pizza and hot dogs over there too. There's also drinks for sale for $1 a piece, and we hope that you are having a good time tonight. Back to the live broadcast with Jeff Weller in just one moment.
This is the Reds Winter Caravan, live from Stoops Buick-GMC in Muncie. Now, back to the event.
All right, Jeff Weller back with you from Stoops Buick-GMC, our annual opportunity to talk Reds baseball in late January before these guys head to Arizona and spring training. That's got to be on their mind as they start the Caravan, knowing I never know if the Caravan starts the season or really ends the off season, but one way or another, these guys will be getting ready to go to Arizona and get ready for 2016. Kivas Sampson is one of the players. I don't know, I think the audience may have taken all my best questions, so I'm going to have to dig pretty deep. Kivas, welcome to Muncie, Indiana. Welcome to the Reds Caravan. It's great to have you out here at Stoops.
Oh, thank you guys for having us. You know, we've been enjoying going around and talking to some of the fans and interacting with them. This is my first time actually being a part of something like this. Look forward to many more to come.
When the Caravan launched earlier today from Cincinnati, I read some of Marty's comments as the Caravan started about coming out. He didn't use the word hinterland. We're kind of one of the further outposts of the Reds country. We bleed a little bit of blue. There's some Chicago Cub fans that infiltrate this area from time to time. And some of us still feel like we're in the heart of Reds country, even if we're on the border. But this is a great time. For you, getting ready for the 2016 season, you had some promise last year. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But how excited are you to get to Arizona?
Oh, I'm so excited. You know, I've been getting that itch since about 2 weeks into the off season. You know, we always talk about, hey, ready for the off season, but then you get out there home for about 2 weeks and there's nothing to do, so you're like, man, I'm ready to get back on the field. So looking forward to it. I'm actually getting out a little bit early. Probably do a week or so early to kind of get back activated and everything and get settled in.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit and say, in 1970, the Reds had a young pitcher by the name of Wayne Simpson, who was lights out in 1970 for the Reds. You may have heard his name in the history of Reds lore. When I saw you get your first couple of starts, I couldn't help but draw a comparison to Simpson, Sampson, and you looked like something special. You got off to a great start in your first 2 or 3 starts with the Reds, and really pitched very well. That had to be the moment your baseball life moment.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like I said, so promise that all the work so good. Thank you very much. That's all the better. This guy. Get my team better and continue to throw my curve all around the world. I'm just ready to get out there and get back with the guys and, you know, shock the world a little bit because a lot of people kind of
anything really preparing you for the first time you go to work with anything else?
No, sir. No, sir. I mean, you run it through your mind so many times, being grown up, that's how you was doing, but until you're actually out there, the first word that I got was don't look up when I'm running out of the field. It's only keep my head down, keep my head down, and just go straight to the mound and take the ball from Price, you know. So, that was a great point for guys because there's people there and the stadium is I actually showed up probably 15 minutes before the game. I was just finally there, finally made it. Then remember the garbage and stuff.
Tired? Thank you very much. Welcome to Muncie. Welcome. We're glad that you're a part of the 2016 Reds Caravan.
Did I have him sign my book too?
You're going to see him.
There you go. Have a good night.
So Dad has a special story. That card's from us growing up.
Keep going. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's his Reds book, so he wants you to sign it too.
We're radio guys, but you also, as a broadcaster, in your 18th season.
Thank you very much. Very welcome. Thank you.
He has talked about shocking the world. Who says this team can't overachieve? I think you're exactly right.
Thank you.
Pretty nice.
How many years is that?
Thank you.
You gotta grab it and get it going.
Fine, how are you?
Pull it, make it tight. Yeah, there you go.
This is your maybe
Thank you.
Very little room.
If that happens, tough part is obviously
a lot though. That's awesome.
The other thing, I don't know,
I'm fine, how are you?
The team they want to win, they want.
Thank you very
I'm
so excited about this. 1, 2, 3.
In my early years, when the young second baseman started at the Reds, and nobody knew anything about him, wondered why he was on the 63 Reds, and that worked out okay.
You're exactly right. We don't know what we have here. And I think the other thing is this. When you talk about the fans, you have to look at the St. Louis Cardinals have a huge turnover year in and year out. They only have 2 guys left on the team that were playing for them in 2012.
For a customer of ours, I work here. He sent you this personalized handwritten letter. He wanted me to make sure you read it.
This is a team that has the potential. They've got some great.
Apparently, he's been a huge fan of you.
If either of those guys pan out the way the Reds think they will, this could be a successful year.
Jeff was a fan of not only the radio broadcast with Marty and Cowboy and Jim Couch and so on. The formula that I'd really like to have is the formula that is used in terms of the dial that is spun for the Reds. Who's on, who's off. You talk about a combination of outstanding announcers.
Yeah, you know, it all starts with Tom and Marty. They set the schedule for them because Tom is so busy with the other things that he does for Fox Sports as well. And then we all just kind of fill in the blanks behind those two. You know, as you said, to work with guys like Marty and Tom, Jeff Brantley, Chris Wells, Jim Bryan, Jim Couch, we have class. We all get along great. It's a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable.
All right, our Caravan coverage is underway for Stoops Buick-GMC this evening. Happy to have you out here, and we hope you are enjoying a little bit of spring in late January. We'll be back with more of the Reds Caravan 2016 from Stoops right after this.
How are you?
Folks, again, we encourage you to enjoy the night. Ask any questions of our staff members or anybody from Stoops Buick-GMC. We are glad to be of service. Right now, Mike Rhodes from MuncieJournal.com, who is streaming video. Mark Forrester, our sports director, couldn't be here this evening. He's watching this stream right now. And he can probably hear me saying that to him. It's unbelievable. The technology is fantastic. In just a little while, we're going to give away some Ball State basketball tickets in the room here from Stoops. Stand by for that. Coming back to live radio in just a second.
Play baseball? Yeah, what position?
All right.
There you go. go.
There
you go, buddy. There you go.
The Reds have been Stoops Buick-GMC. We're happy to have him. Alex Blandino is one of the extras in this travel party.
Look back. I get to bring my grandson.
Yeah, how you doing, bud?
Good. Still waving at the camera.
Spring training.
Play baseball?
Playing, Dad. Yes, play baseball. All over right now.
There you go.
Starting the pitching machine for the first time. And Grandma cried. I thought I was going to die. But he stood up there. No, he was really brave, and he hit that ball really hard and got on base, and he has not been afraid ever since.
There you go. Nice.
This is
Good luck to you, bud.
4 generations of baseball, Reds fans.
Nice. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Good luck to you. A lot of my good friends have success. It's very good for us. So I want to kind of see your team do well. I was sort of bummed that the last couple games we couldn't get to the playoffs.
Didn't even think about taking pictures.
We're talking with Reds prospect Alex Blandino about the 2016 season. Alex, short, second, see your name at both. I assume you'll play either. Coach played.
Yeah, wherever they need me to go, I'm comfortable even playing third base. So that's where I played in college. Put a lot of time in all 3 spots. So.